Readjust. All right, we're live and living. Give some people a minute. You know what? I'm not even going to wear these tonight. What's up, World Wide Web? E-Daddy, your anger guy. And crap, I just thought about something. Oh, I already did that. And this. Ah. Let me keep everybody out of the damn studio. All right. See, I had one, and they left. All right. We'll try this again in 3, 2, 1. What's up, World Wide Web? E-Daddy, your angry guy, and I'm back again. Plenty of stuff sitting around here. The collection's growing. We're finding more stuff. The way we do it. What's going on, Mr. Ruddy? I'm glad you are here tonight because you helped tip this iceberg. You helped tip E-Daddy over the edge because you got me to watch something earlier. In the background, I've got, or back here behind me, I've got actually Revelations playing. So you might occasionally hear it. So hopefully, God, I don't get this banned off of YouTube like several other projects I've got going right now. So we're going to kick this off. Revelations, you had to, if you went into this with an open mind, it's been almost 40 years since Filmation hit this airwaves. Yes, Kevin Smith said this is going to be like a continuation from Filmation. 2 problems. 1, this is not 1985. We do not have a parental watchdog group watching over what can get aired, especially on Netflix. Okay? 2, you can't do a continuation of something that was nothing more than a story. You had 100 and something episodes that were stories. It's maybe a continuation of Filmation, means along the Filmation canon. Let's get that out of the way right now. But we all had to go into this with an open mind, much like we did with New Adventures of He-Man. Like we did with the Mike Young production series back in 2002. You know, we went into everything with an open mind. Where we liked it or we hated it, that's for everybody to choose. But if you don't go into this with an open mind, it's all for naught. Like those so-called experts on that other show. And I say so-called because I'll get that one in a minute. Have they had anything to do with the Masters of the Universe? Were they involved with the Filmation product back in the day? The Masters of the Universe toy line back in the 80s? They have something to do with New Ventures or the Mike Young production? No. Did they write the fucking book on our canons? No. Fuck the so-called experts. In that case, I'm about as big an expert as they are. Mr. Ruddy, you are too. I could go on and on and on. The dude with the mask claiming to be... Yeah. But I'm going to get to them here in a little bit. Like I said, 3 out of 4. I got something to say about them. 1 is safe. Now, going into the show, like I said, open mind. Okay? 1, we don't know, because no one has ever said it. It's never been alluded to. How much time has apparently went by? Because let's face it, characters are starting to get older. And you can tell with the way they are. Okay? So we know there's been a time jump. A little bit of one. There is a little bit after, after the disappearances, after one turns himself into a fucking spirit and goes hiding into a wand, and the other one goes to Preternia. I'll get to more of that one later. Exactly. Thank you, Paul Rudman. Thank you. My point exactly. Unless you work for Mattel, Filmation, something like that, everybody is a fan. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Those 4 over there, they're fans. Okay? Yeah. We know about my opinions of Val Staples. Val's pretty much like that dude over at Super 7. He's an open target for me. I'm really debating on if I'm going to say or reveal the 4 Jokers. Or, I'm sorry, the 3 Jokers and the 1 normal guy. Anyways. We get another time jump. We don't know how much of a time jump happened from the time of Adam and Skeletor's demise to when they show Teela with the short hair. We don't know. Okay. So that's something that I really wish Kevin Smith had done with the show, is give us an idea here so it might make some things not as confusing. Let's break another myth. He-Man does not kill. Bullshit. Got talking to both Kevin Castillo and James Manning, and the groups are known as Kevin at Arms and the Keeper of the Books. So we hear, okay, He-Man doesn't kill. Anybody saw the original canon before Filmation got involved with anything Mattel-wise? Yeah, he did too. Now, early on in the first 10 minutes of the episode, He-Man stabs Skeletor. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the show yet. Now, why do you do it? Same reason any of us, especially any of us vets, or anybody that's got kids, would do it. You hurt or kill someone that's close to the hero, and you've seen it in all the superhero mythologies here, what's going to happen? That hero is going to snap and retaliate, much like He-Man did. Exactly. He-Man doesn't kill because of the Filmation thing, because of the watchdog groups. We don't have that no more, thank God. Mr. Rudman, did you switch things because it went from Motu Man Cave Dweller to Paul Rudman? What the hell? Confusing me, dude. But anyways, yeah. So we get the explosion. Teela goes through, she sees everything. I got you, Ruddy. All right. Well, then just kick back, enjoy the show, especially if you're a Masters Universe Revelations fan or toy fan or fan of the Masters Universe, period. Okay, so He-Man goes through and he sacrifices himself in the process. He turns himself back into Prince Adam. Teela sees all this shit. Okay, now, one of those jokers over at the Fans of Power show couldn't believe that Teela became and started acting like the way she did. Okay, as a vet who does suffer from PTSD, as a vet who has a wife who's also a retired disabled veteran, like I said, also suffers from PTSD, we understood where Teela was coming from. She went through, she witnessed all this. She witnessed every bit of this. She went through all these adventures with He-Man. Yeah, she never knew until that moment that's going on right now behind the screen. Okay? She sees Adam, He-Man, transform back into Adam. She gets pissy because she's in shock, everybody. Because all these people knew. Her adoptive dad knew. Orko knew. Cringer knew. Marlena knew. She never did. She spends all this time, she doesn't have the proper time to say goodbye to Adam or to He-Man. To go through. She ain't getting that grieving. So it eats at her. She has a hatred for everything because of it. It's not going to go away. Anybody with PTSD knows this feeling. Yeah, she still has it later on during the first 5 episodes. I want to say it was episode 4, I think, when they go, they're in Preternia. Adam's just acting all nonchalant about it. Here comes all his feelings of hatred again. Mr. Rudman, you're correct. Everybody she loved, everybody she cared for, is hiding secrets. Hell, Randall acted the same way. God knows what he's actually feeling now. Right, you're also correct. It'd be enough to drop anyone to a dark place. Been there, done that. We know. Any of us with PTSD, we know. You're right. That's how it goes. Everybody snaps. So we know this is, this is half of the first season. I don't see it being the last. It's the first half of it. We've got to tell the entire story on how everything's coming to be. So are we going to get He-Man throughout the thing? No. But also, and this is the biggest thing that drives me nuts, this is not called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Never has it been He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's always been the Masters of the Universe. And in the opening sequence of the show, Well, I think it's Alan Oppenheimer's voice you can hear during the narration. Everybody could be a master of the universe. All of them that protected the secret, protected Grayskull, was a master of the universe. That includes Teela. Now it includes Andra. So you can throw the sexist bullshit out the goddamn door. Now, I said, all right, so we've got Teela leaving the palace. End of the first episode. So we get to the second one. Okay. She shows up. She's got this short hair. She's about as buff as it can be. You know, women can get muscle. Check out some of the women at the Olympics. And they don't even have to be bodybuilders. I was at a seafood restaurant yesterday, and they had Olympics going on some of the screens. I'm going to get to that one here in a minute, Ruddy. Now, some of those chicks, especially those Russians, you know, they're built. You look at all the physical things Teela goes through and does throughout all the canon. It's going to happen. Now, change up a minute. We've got everybody's complained about lack of characters. Yeah, we see Fisto and Clamp Champ in the beginning. We also see, you know, the Skelecons. We see some other evil warriors. They're in Skeletor's assault on Grayskull. We don't know how many warriors was actually outside the building, outside the castle, battling it out. We have no idea. None at all. But this is just the first half of this. We don't know who's going to be involved in the second half of this. Okay? No idea. We know who's disappeared so far. We do know who's died. Things are going to happen. Yeah, maybe we'll all get lucky. We know we're not going to see no Horde. That means no Modulok. And for all we know, let me get down here in a second. Ray, you got a good point there. I don't know. Yeah, somebody might have blasted old Burke Boy out of the sky. He could seriously be dead. We don't know. The first half. Call it like a little mini-series movie. Now, let's look at the characters we have seen. Okay, yeah, we got, real quickly, we got to see Clamp Champ, Fisto, Clawful, Spikor. Okay, we don't know how the second half's going to go. It might be more, you know, we might get to see more of them. We don't know. We don't know what's happened to the rest of the heroes. We get later on here in the second episode where Teela and Andra go to Snake Mountain. So we see that Triclops has become a a cult leader, and he's got Screech, the robotic Screech, up above. You're true, Ruddy. You're very much right on that one. But we all got to go into this open mind. This is a continuation, or this is another story to be told within the Motu universe. That's why I said we all need to go into this with an open mind and realize this is not our 1980s Filmation. I'm getting there. This is going to be a long one, so I hope everybody's in for the long haul. You know, we get these flashbacks, one-liners, everything else like that. Anyways, going back to the old mission at Snake Mountain, we get the first of the flashbacks. You know, He-Man's one-liners, them dealing with Whiplash. We get Triclops, like I said, cult leader, and yes, it was great to see him in that kind of role. Reading through canons and going back through older episodes of this show. Now I'm talking about my show, not Master Show. This one. At one point, when Skeletor disappeared there for a while, somebody else took over. Yeah, but he's sitting there. He's giving out this elixir. I'm just gonna say to people that's turned them into half man, half machines. That kind of sounds like the technovirus that Hordak dispensed out way back. Way back. But it's great to see him add that in there. And you get a half Whiplash, half robotic Whiplash. Trapjaw, even more cybernetic than ever. Then you got Blast Attack there. Blast Attack going through the character guide. Blast Attack was made for the Snake Men. So, I mean, at some point, we didn't see the Snake Men were there. Now, does that mean that that's how it's meant to be looked at in this canon? We don't know. Is it something Triclops made? Like Hordak did. Gave him the hiss. We don't know. Yeah, Ruddy, you are very much correct. I was reading through that earlier. I was reading through the big book of all the mini comics. Now, what do we see from there? Okay, yeah, like I said, we see a great, great scene of what Triclops has done in the time being, what he's done to Snake Mountain in the time being. It's been great. Waylon, Danny, I'm getting there to that one to about Orko. So we get through a little while, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because then actually I've done covered this part. All right, get through the fight scene. Okay. All right, they're out there. Okay, so they're going to head for the Temple of the Elders. Oh. If Mr. Amato is actually here, You might want to watch this later. Anyways, we go to the house or the Council of Elders building, whatever. There's where probably the one problem I actually had with this entire show happened. And it actually happened during that first episode where they said, "All right, Joe, thank you." And you know what? I had some issues with a lot of things you said on your show last week. I really do. Now, they show Castle Grayskull as being an illusion hiding the Temple of the Elders. That's bullshit again. Because there's a complete episode in Filmation where He-Man has to go back and stop Skeletor from stopping Grayskull from being made. And it's called the Time Corridor. You know, and it aired July 14th back in '83. It's all there. We're going to look at it early on in season 1. I had a problem with that. But you go back to, okay, so here we are. Going back to this, you know, what the whole premise of this first half is, because we got to get this whole story rolling. And it's great to see what they got to do. Everything starting to actually roll like it was supposed to. Joe, I'll give you props, especially for the last comment. Especially since I'm one for putting pineapple on a pizza. Not too many people like it. I do. Hopefully, Joe, you got a chance to go back and watch the first part of this episode or of this show, because I feel sorry for Tyler whenever if he sees any of this. I doubt he ever will. Anyways, we go through. Like I said, we see all this. We know what's going on. We know what. Okay, we see what they got to be doing. Find out. Okay, there's two halves of the Power Sword. We're going back to a way original canon pre-filmation. Not exactly the way the sword should have been done, but it's there. All right, we get it. We go. So then they bring in Subternia, Preternia. Here we got Subternia being guarded basically by Scareglow. Not the person I figured would be guarding Subternia, or that they would basically say Subternia is Eternia's version of hell. They got Scareglow in there. We've seen different aspects, different canons for Scareglow. I've got a whole episode that covers it. Never did I think that we'd see him portrayed as basically the devil down in Subternia. Crew moves on to Preternia. Let's go back to Subternia. Now I said we'd get to it. All right, so we got Orko going. He has his moment where he has fallen so much since Adam's demise, and with all the magic leaving, I'm like a lot of others. Yeah, I may not have cared too much for him, for Orko in the series. You did kind of have to. You like the way he got portrayed. It's like he's dying. The Magic's dying, and the whole universe is dying, and Eternia's dying. Of course, he's gonna fall ill with all this. He has to go and see an empty Trollan University. Happens. It's a nightmare. What the whole thing is about. Do we know that's what Trollan turned into? We don't know. He dukes it out with Scareglow. Both of them are. Orko supposedly dies. What about Scareglow? Wouldn't he be dead too? No one's pointed that one out. My thing is, are they seriously dead? We don't know. We really don't. The show wants us to think that way. Now, before I go into the Preternia, I need to backtrack a little bit. On their way to Subternia's entrance, they come across Merman, voiced by Kevin Conroy, who we all know voiced Batman in the animated Batman series. Did a great job with it. A lot of people had an issue with the fact that through Filmation NYP, whoever voiced Merman had that gargled sound to their voice. We didn't have that now. We really didn't. So we get what we got. Wasn't the best thing to hear, but hey, it was still there. It was fine. They get to the entrance of Subternia. Oh, dear Lord. We get to... There was the skeleton sitting there, and she takes the ram skull, sets it on there. We see is that possibly what was left of the faceless one? I wondered about that. No, I'm sorry. They weren't on their way to the Subternia. They're on their way to go find Duncan. That's right. So we get it. Goes. We see that Roboto Roboto's been basically given all the memories of Duncan. He knows everything that Duncan's ever done, ever known, supposedly. I really wish I hadn't turned that on in the background, but it helped me keep up. As we get to see, little glimpses of Eternia's past. And it's done a great way to where it's the past. Anyways, Orko, I don't think he's dead. I really don't. I think we're going to see something come. I think we're going to see him come back from Trollope. I expect to see Scareglow return in some form. All right, now you two are just getting weird. It's all right. Weird makes it better. Going on, so they get through Subterranean. They've got one half the power sword. They get through into the entrance to pre-Eternia. Pre-fucking Eternia. That's supposed to have been Eternia's past, not Eternia's heaven. Eternia's past. But, so in fact, we're going off of what's supposed to be Filmation. Maybe that was the case. We see all the former champions of Eternia. Rhodey, if you want to sit there and kiss a mask, you go right on ahead, dude. I think somewhere in this eclectic room. Yeah, you guys did. You guys have hijacked and completely thrown me off. So we see, okay, we get to see the heroes or the champions. There's one thing I agreed with, because it's always been anybody that's been had the power of he has been called Eternia's champion. I mean, you saw Wundar in there, Vicor, Grayskull. Now in this, they don't ever refer to him. Well, maybe they did refer to him as King Grayskull, but Von Grayskull is there. We get to see another form of the sorceress, one of the several different sorcerers that's existed. We got Teela that's changing back and forth with her attitude, back and forth. She's going to be fine 1 minute. Something's going to trip her. This goes back to the PTSD comments earlier. She naturally, of course, sees Adam there. Yeah, she's going to trip out, everybody. It's going to happen. We know. Oh, God, I need to really... Okay, I'm flashing on to the fucking... The Forge of the Forest of Forever. So we get... she sees that Adam's there. It sets her off again. Because here she is. She's still so mad. Because, like I said, she never got to grieve. She never got to do anything. 13+ show, right? I think so. Actually, it's supposed to, I was trying to keep... I figured some people are probably going to let their kids watch. That's why I said this really ain't for children, especially anybody sees the chat log here. Anyways, Teela goes back to being, to tripping, she's mad again. Why? Because she sees her dead friend who can't do anything about, she can't do anything about that. She can't help it. Sets her off. Her attitude throughout this entire show was, without a doubt, it was right on the mark. I don't know. I ain't seen Sesame Street in years, so I don't know. My kids don't ever watch it. Of course, they're all so older now. Now I'm stuck watching things like freaking funny Mario videos or Peppa Pig or whatever little man can find on YouTube. All right, so they're going to get the other half of the power sword. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Hero. He's here. No one can blame anybody for acting the way they do, especially Teela on this. And I don't keep backtracking to this. Ruddy keeps hijacking me. We go on about this. It's going to happen. We get Rabaul, he knows everything Duncan knows. He knows how the forge is going to operate. All right, let's send them over. Let's get that part out of the way. Okay, let's see if Adam can somewhat clear the air a little bit. With Teela. She's going to get to express how she feels about the whole situation. And along the way, we're going to get to see something that we have not seen in any of the animated shows. Eternia. We see a glimpse of the Viper Tower. We get to see a bit of Grayskull Tower. We get to see the Central Tower. Hey, it's great. So we get to see all kinds of good things going with this. But to call Preternia heaven, I'd say more like when all this happened with Adam, he got zapped to the past. And all of Eternia's champions, that's what happens to them when they die. They go back to the past. It's the only way I can think of where we can explain the fact that we've got Hero, we've got Wondar, we've got Grayskull. Now we got Adam. It's all there. One funny moment I did see, was Hero sitting there thinking, oh, let's just do it like this. Dude, you're not even turning both halves of the swords the right damn way. Saying it's been done by trial and magic. Okay, if that's how we want to look at it in this canon, okay. It never was ever explained in Filmation. We know it was explained in MYP, but not here in Filmation. It gets explained here with Kevin Smith. I get the sword back together. Rabaul gets blown up. Hang up now. unless that blast caused like an electromagnetic pulse whenever he got the sword together. It didn't really make any sense on how he can just short out and die when all he got was some arms, legs blown off. Didn't make much sense. Because, I mean, you see what little was left of the magic of Eternia disappearing. You're saying that's what kept him going? I kind of don't believe that one either. But they'll get to go back. Adam goes through and he gives up his spot in Eternia Heaven in order to go back to help everybody he loves and cares for. Take care of everything once and for all. Like I said, so far we're down Moss Man, who, okay, he's one of the oldest living beings in Eternia. Fire takes him out. And now he's in Preternia. Oh, yeah. Grayskull being a black guy. I don't really see a problem with this, considering the fact that we are going off of Filmation canon. We don't know. They're not alluding to the fact of anything, that, Adam's supposed to be an heir to Grayskull at some point, like they have in other canons. So it is what it is. They go back, restart everything, get the orb back together. Skeletor reappears since, Adam's able to be back. The orb's coming back. Skeletor's a magical being, basically, anyways. He gets to come back because he's been hiding out in Evil Lynn's wand this whole time. Stabs Adam through the side stomach here. Okay. Everyone's bitching that Kevin Smith killed off He-Man, Prince Adam twice. No, he didn't. People, get it freaking right, because we don't ever see Adam die the second time around. It's a flesh wound, people. Swear to God. Skeletor, of course, he's seen as he's coming back how Adam was able to harness the power of the elders. The power of Grayskull. Takes it, does it himself. Ends on him being the master of the universe. He's become Skelegod. There's another episode that I'm trying to get worked out and finished. Show ends, cliffhanger. First half of the show stops on a cliffhanger. 5 episodes in. All right. Now, overall thought, okay. We're going into this with an open mind. Something that I noticed that, honestly, I don't care what Joe says now. When I watched last Sunday's episode of Fans of Power, he really didn't. Because this is like, okay, said a continuation from Filmation, but however, Filmation never really had a constant story. It had a bunch of different stories. We don't know what the time frame was. The 2000X series or MYP series, it was a constant story from start to the time that it got canceled. It was great to see. basically we're getting like one long episodic movie that's supposed to be a continuation. Except now, like I alluded to earlier, we have no parental watchdogs. We can take the gloves off. If he wants to kill somebody, yes, he can. And technically, he didn't kill Skeletor anyways. Because if he had, Skeletor wouldn't have been able to crack the orb to start with. And we get all this. Sorry, Joe. You were wrong again. But, much like you, I will respect your opinion. Yes, I will say something about your opinion. Much like I firmly expect to see you say something about mine. Like I said, for first 5 episodes, it's a great way to start everything out. Paul, you are correct. That's a good way of thinking about it. This is definitely a better way of going about it than the little Filmation one-offs that we got, because we don't know what point in time each one of those stories happened. But we know this is all together. This episodic story, great. And I really hope that they continue on even after this first 10 episodes they go through. Kevin Smith goes, all right, you know what? All in all, it turned out great. Everybody's loving it. We ain't seen the second half, so we're just going to assume that everybody's going to love this. Paul, I'd want to agree with you on that, but if that was the case, I really hoped he would have brought the Horde into this and went that route, but it is what it is. But yeah, it is actually kind of a good way of looking at it. So we get the story. All right, so basically what we got so far is, all right, so we've got the basis, the nucleus of, we've got the entire story of why things have happened, what had to be done, what were the results of that. Now, for what's the results of the first result? What's going to happen from here? I'm like probably a lot of you, I want to see how this plays out. I want to see what Kevin Smith's got in his bag of tricks on this. Because I've followed Kevin Smith ever since, he originally came out with Clerks. He's done his movies. He's drawn for various comic books over the years. Yeah, he changes the script up a little bit, but it's great storytelling in the long run. It all makes sense. Anybody that has not followed Kevin Smith that way is not going to understand the complexions of everything he's trying to do with this. Basically, it's almost like somebody that works with clay. They've got a lump of clay. We'll call it Filmation. All right, he's got it on the table. He's spinning it out to make something. That's what this first part is. He's slowly starting to make it, to form that piece of clay. The second half of this 5-episode series is going to be him finishing his clay project. That's the best way I can think of putting it. Yeah, hopefully the Princesses of Power and She-Ra gets brought in, but be great to see them bring all that in and bring the Horde in. That way we get a definite, okay, we're going there with a second part of this. Of course, everybody will probably complain about whatever the backstory is with the whole Horde and all that. The same will probably happen with the Snake Men. We don't know what we're going to get. I honestly thought this was a great story. Whether it's supposed to be continuing on after Filmation, or basically being another Filmation type story. That's the canon he was going off of. If he was going off MYP, if he was going off of any of the canon, and honestly, I feel like he's mixed a bunch of canon all together for what we've gotten. Now, for my thoughts on the reactions to the crew over at Fans of Power on this. What's up, Manaconda? All right. Nathan is going to be the only one I do not have a problem with his reaction to this. Like I said, I made it about a quarter way through before I was so fucking pissed. And the thing is, it wasn't Nathan. Joe's reactions to things, I used to really think the world of Joe. That episode, last week's episode of Fans of Power, made me lose quite a bit of respect for him, because you would think, and I'm going off of, especially after what you typed in here earlier. Yes, I know it was his opinion, and I get that. But when he's saying he's an expert and he's giving this opinion of this, hold up, don't do that. I doubt we'll get the Horde or the Snake Men either, but we don't know. Netflix said, greenlit this for a 10-episode series to start with. There could be a possibility he could bring up more, so that's why they have, they're waiting until the second half of this and then see how everything goes. So we can get, before we get an idea, okay, we're going to get more episodes. Or we're going to get a new story. Now, the blonde chick, whose name I didn't catch other than, is it Rebecca or Newt? Apparently she was a fan of She-Ra, supposedly. No disrespect, but she looked like an animated Barbie doll sitting there. And saying she lost respect for Teela. Hey, I don't know what kind of world she lives in, but look, real life women are going to act in many different fucking ways. This is not Barbieville. Rebecca Cox. I'll save that joke. Honestly, I don't know what the hell she brings to that show. I agree with everybody that's been watching here lately. I don't know what the hell she brings to it. If it's eye candy, find some new candy. I'm sorry, it did. To me, it looked like a fucking animated fucking Barbie doll sitting there in that corner of the screen. But that brings me to the biggest idiot of the bunch. That jacked up so-called He-Man expert, Tyler. Exactly, Ray. She's not even good eye candy. That's right. Get some new fucking candy. Hey, this is why they won't, why the offer's never been say, hey, E-Day, why don't you come on to the Bring on here, fans of power. Boy, me and these guys will probably be getting into it a lot. But to say that a woman will not act that way and has no right to be acting bitchy and everything else the way that Tila acted throughout the entire fucking show, dude, you ain't got a goddamn clue. I said to my wife earlier, I guarantee it's like, if you had a goddamn clue, it'd be a miracle. The way he acts and the way he thinks that they don't have a clue, he probably got a clue what the fuck pussy is, even if it jumped in his goddamn lap. Especially don't know what the fuck a chick with PTSD is gonna fucking act like. No, this man seriously needs to get his head out of his ass. You can tell he didn't walk into watching that open-minded. Hell, he might as well admit to it. He couldn't even get through the third fucking episode. Man, Joe and Tyler used to moan and bitch because their show didn't get views because they didn't have a big boob blunt. Talking He-Man, well, hell, if that's the case, hang on. I got a big boob wife who's a brunette. She loves this shit. Hell, she's the one that's helped me gather a majority of this collection. And it's actually because of her that is sitting there. Let me move my there. Because she's the one that spotted it. I said, hey, you don't have this. Let's get this. Tell me I didn't marry well. I got my Motu counterpart as a wife. Love her to death. Hell. She definitely knows more about this shit than Rebecca did. Or Rebecca does, whatever. I'm going to say this. I challenge Joe, Tyler, bring me on the show one time. It'll never happen, but I'll issue it. So then I figure out I'll bring him on here. Imagine how that'll go. Imagine I'd go over there. But I can definitely tell that 3 out of 4 of y'all did not go into watching Revelations with an open mind. Joe, Rebecca, Tyler. You guys didn't. Nathan did. You could see it. You could tell it. He didn't have to say it, but he showed it. That's why I didn't have a problem with his opinion. He went into this with an open mind. And that's what we all need to do. And get used to the... No, Ruddy, he says later he did finally set back, I think a day or two before they did the show, and said he went there and he finished watching the rest of them. He did do that. I did catch that part. Like I said, I got maybe about a half hour through the show, and I know they would go about 2 hours. So I got about a quarter of the way through it. I had to turn it off. Because otherwise, I could probably go an entire 2-hour show bitching about everything they said. if we're going to be fair and objectable about this, we need to do it with an open mind. And I tell you right now, some of them didn't, and you could tell with the way they were talking and acting. Teela did not have any reason to act any other way than the way she did. So anybody, and this is directed at the chick on Fans of Power, I lost respect for Teela. You've got a really warped sense of how a woman's supposed to be. I'll admit it, I don't understand women, not one damn bit. But hell, girl, you pissed my wife off. I was kind of hoping she'd be sitting here watching this on her phone or her laptop, sitting there typing, butt in on this. That episode of Fan of Power, Tyler come off as a sexist asshole. And Joe just comes off as an asshole. My wife had actually ended up with more respect for Teela, and because of what, and she understood every bit of the line of where Teela was coming from throughout the entire show. I, as somebody who also suffers from PTSD, understood where Teela was coming from on that show. Kevin Smith understood what he was doing to have Teela be the way she ended up being in this 5-episode arc. Despite all the good and the bad, let's face it, this was actually a really good first half of this show. Better in Filmation could have been, because they had those, one-story episodes. Better than New Adventures that had a consistent storyline. Just crappy animation. And going back to something, Ruddy, that you said early on about no one could go into watching New Adventures with an open mind. I honestly, every time I have tried countless times, I finally did make it through the entire run thanks to the Peacock Network having New Adventures of He-Man on there. And actually, Kevin Castillo can vouch for this. I did make it through the entire run of New Adventures. And I went to it with an open mind. Like I said, great story, great use of everything. However, just crappy animation and a ruinization of how they drew our characters, our heroes, our villains. Almost as good as New Adventures. And I will say almost as good, or no, not New Adventures. God damn. Almost as good as the NYP series. And I'll say almost as good because we are only halfway through it. The second half will tell the story. Now, I don't know what else we can go with. Until we see the second half of the series. I don't know when that second half is supposed to be coming out. I don't know what they said it. It just says watch season 1 now. Seeing if there's something on here that says something as much. No. We don't know what we're going to get. Like I said, we're getting there. Hopefully we get, great second half of the story to where we can go through and say, hey, this was better than the MYP series as far as storytelling goes. To me, we're already there. I mean, it's on a good roll, good start. The way everybody's acting and everything's being depicted so far, hey. Is Orko dead? We don't know. Is Scareglow dead? We don't know. Mossman, there was enough of him left over that he could possibly regrow, especially after the orb come back. You still see Mossman come back. Roboto, if they hadn't left him in Preternian, who knows? He might come back with the other ones. He could come back. We're missing heroes. We're just the first half of the show, guys. There's a lot of voice actors there that got named. We ain't seen them yet. So I think everybody's way off on their thoughts. I think this is great storytelling for this story. The animation, I loved it. Somebody on FOP said something about having, I don't know, seeing like it might got a little stoppish or something. Maybe it's your internet feed. I didn't see what you were talking about. And I've watched this show, including what parts of it I just watched while making this or had in the background, 5 different times. We know what we're getting. We know what we're getting ready to get. We got an idea what we're getting ready to get into. We've seen Adam come back from the dead. We know he's not dead. So let's not give up on this yet, people. It seems like a lot of people, they're not. I'm getting tired of listening to everybody bitch about, oh, it's all messed up, He-Man's not in. It's all about Teela. This ain't He-Man, the Masters of the Universe. Every one of these packages I have hanging on the wall over here all say Masters of the Universe. The classics boxes, they say Masters of the Universe. Original Mattel toy said Masters of the Universe. All right, yeah, the New Adventures said New Adventures of He-Man. Yeah, okay, get that one. 2000X. Okay, that one was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The show itself is called Masters of the Universe Revelation. It's called the Revelation of everything. Masters of the Universe. That's the way it is. That's why if anybody's got an open mind, You need to take a good look at this. Realize that's the way it is. Well, I think I've went on long enough, so I'm going to see what my probably now former friends, or I'm sorry, former friend. I expect to get some kind of message from him sometime soon. So I respect his opinions. I don't respect him whenever he's not willing to go into this open mind, and you can tell he just didn't. Everybody remember, none of us that talk Masters of the Universe, we're not experts. We're fans giving our opinions. Meant we call ourselves experts, we got a problem. I'm a fan of Masters. I'm a fan of Transformers. I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles. Fan of horror movies, Transformers, Voltron, Ghostbusters. I'm a fan. I'm not an expert. I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I'm not an expert. Nor will I ever claim to be. Because I didn't work for Mattel. Never have. I wasn't involved in the creation of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Wasn't involved with anything with Filmation. Anything from New Adventures, 2000X, Revelations, Origins, nothing. I'm a fan. This was my opinion. You like it? Great. If you don't, unsubscribe and go to those other guys. If you're not willing to go into things with an open mind, especially with this, you're not a fan. You think that things are supposed to be certain ways. No. Read your books. Go back through canons. You're going to be found to be proven wrong. You'll be surprised in the things you see and read. So until next time, and I'm still trying to get my other projects done, so I can get them on here. Hell, now I've got Revelations figures to look at. I've got pretty much a whole season I can finish out with the Origin stuff. It's all here, guys. You don't believe me? The only thing that ain't there is the Lords of Power set. The new Battle Damage, Battle Cat, and Battle Armor He-Man. Ain't here yet. I've gotten some of the Masterverse stuff. Was trying to work on a review for the Origins Beastman figure. And for a Skelegod review. Work sucks. I'm overworked. Can't find no good help, so I'm trying to get them done when I can. But until next time, I'm E Daddy, your angry guy, and remember, If you're watching the shows, go into everything with an open mind. Collect toys, keep on collecting them. So we can go through and keep getting more stories. That way these lines, they don't ever die. Till next time.